DCKO #1 is out, and they've released this awesome tournament bracket that coincides with this crossover event. So I wanted to fill out my bracket, and why don't you guys fill yours out along with me, and we can have some fun here over the next few months. So right away, let's take a look at all of the matchups here real quick. In the first round, we got Superman versus Giganta, Captain Atom versus Power Girl, Guy Gardner versus Firestorm, Jay Garrick Flash versus Cheetah, Aquaman versus King Shark, Connor Hawk versus Hawkman, Lex Luthor versus Black Lightning, and the Demon versus Supergirl. Then the second bracket, we got Wonder Woman versus Starro, Lobo versus Plastic Man, Swamp Thing versus Vixen, Cyborg versus Batwoman. Originally we had Batman versus Star Sapphire, but Joker has now taken Batman's place. Red Hood versus Damian Wayne, Zatanna versus Barda, Harley Quinn versus Metamorpho. So some very interesting first round matchups in there, especially Red Hood versus Damian Wayne. I like that matchup. Wonder Woman versus Starro, Aquaman versus King Shark. That's interesting. So I gotta go with Superman over Giganta. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't think we're gonna have a bracket buster there. Captain Atom versus Power Girl. That's kind of a tough one. I feel like DC wants to push Captain Atom, and I've always liked Captain Atom, even though I like Power Girl too, but I'm gonna go with Captain Atom. We got Guy Gardner versus Firestorm. Gotta go with Guy Gardner here. Although Firestorm has a new series coming out, so maybe they want to push him a little bit. Actually, I'm going to change that. Let's go with Firestorm. Then we got Jay Garrick, the Flash, versus Cheetah. Kind of an interesting matchup here. Two speedsters. I think Cheetah's going to win, though. We got Aquaman and King Shark. Aquaman's going to take this one pretty easily, I think. Connor Hawk versus Hawkman. I think Hawkman's going to win this one, so we can set up a round 2 battle between two Justice League members, Aquaman and Hawkman. We got Lex Luthor versus Black Lightning. I would like to see Black Lightning win this one, take Lex Luthor out right away. I'm going with Black Lightning and Cheetah to kind of be my bracket busters for this tournament. The Demon versus Supergirl. I love the Demon character, one of my favorite DC character designs, and that doesn't mean he's gonna win the first round, so I gotta go with Supergirl here, because I think we're setting up some pretty big matchups for Supergirl here in this bracket. So then we get Wonder Woman versus Starro. I think Wonder Woman's gonna take this one. We've already taken out Batman in the first round. I don't see the other two members of the DC trilogy going out in the first round. I mean, let me correct that. Batman didn't even make it into the tournament. So then we got Lobo versus Plastic Man. As much as I love Plastic Man, I think Lobo's going far in this tournament, so I'm picking Lobo here, the main man. Then we got Swamp Thing versus Vixen. I think I gotta go with Swamp Thing here, because I think that would set up a very cool round 2 between the Green and Technology, with Cyborg defeating Batwoman, I think, in the first round. So we'll get Swamp Thing and Cyborg in round 2 there. Then we got the Joker versus Star Sapphire. I think Star Sapphire wins here. I think she's going to be kind of a bracket buster in this tournament. I don't see the Joker getting farther now that he's taken out Batman. That pretty much serves Joker's purpose. So I think Star Sapphire will be moving into round 2. So we've got Red Hood versus Damian Wayne in round 1. I love this matchup. I think Red Hood's going to be winning this. I would like to see a round 2 matchup of Red Hood versus Joker, though. So let me take back what I said previously about Star Sapphire winning. I think it could be Joker, so we get a Joker-Red Hood matchup. We get to see Jason maybe get his revenge on Joker, and actually I've already seen a couple covers which I think kind of spoiled this result. So let's go with Red Hood and Joker into round 2 there. Then we got Zatanna versus Barda. I think Zatanna's going to win this. to set up a Harley Quinn matchup in round 2. I think Harley Quinn is going to defeat Metamorpho. So that's round 1. Let me know what you guys think about my round 1 picks. And let's move on to round 2 here. We got Superman versus Captain Atom. I see Superman winning this one. Firestorm versus Cheetah. I think Cheetah will win this to set up an underdog matchup between Cheetah and Superman in round 3. We got Aquaman versus Hawkman. I think Aquaman will win this one. We got Black Lightning versus Supergirl. And I think Supergirl will win this to move on to round 3. So then I got Wonder Woman versus Lobo. I think Lobo is winning this, and I think he's moving on to round 3 to face either Swamp Thing or Cyborg. And I gotta go with Cyborg on this one, so we get a big heavy artillery matchup in round 3 between Lobo and Cyborg. Then we got the Joker versus Red Hood. I think Red Hood finally gets his revenge on Joker for killing him all those years ago to move on to round 3. Zatanna versus Harley Quinn. I think Harley Quinn's moving on to this one to face Red Hood, which is a pretty awesome round 3 matchup. So in round 3, we got Superman versus Cheetah, and I think Superman's winning this one to move on to the semifinals. We got Aquaman versus Supergirl here, and I think Supergirl's winning this because I want to see Supergirl versus Superman in the semifinals. I think that's the semifinal matchup there. We got Lobo versus Cyborg here. I think Lobo's moving on to the semifinals. He is the sole survivor from his home planet and killed everyone on his home planet, and he's moving on to the semifinals. We got Red Hood versus Harley Quinn. This is a pretty cool matchup. There'll be lots of bullets flying, I'm sure. So Harley Quinn versus Red Hood. I gotta go with Harley Quinn on this one. I think that sets up a pretty cool semifinal matchup between Lobo and Harley Quinn. And when I look at the 4 finalists here, Superman, that would be kind of a boring and obvious pick to win this tournament. I don't see that happening. Harley Quinn would be way out of left field, and I feel like half the fan base would probably revolt if that happened. Lobo would be an interesting pick, but kind of silly. But Lobo will defeat Harley Quinn in a fun matchup for new readers, and then in a matchup for old readers, we can have Supergirl over Superman, and we'll probably get a reverse of that classic image from Crisis on Infinite Earths, but we'll have Supergirl holding Superman this time around. That'll lead us into the finals, Supergirl versus Lobo, and so I think the best pick to go with here is going to be, and the safest pick would be Supergirl. So those are my thoughts. These are all my predictions on this tournament. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your predictions in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I do post daily comic book videos. I post reviews, commentary, and more. I also started a new channel covering pro wrestling, Kaufman is Alive Wrestling. So go check out that channel and go read comics.